As you remember from my last presentation, my research developed in alliance management of this kind of alliances and the learning mechanisms that I use by these alliances in order to manage these cross-sectoral alliances in a good way. The research question is how the learning processes influence management practices in CSI. It's a problem, cross-sectoral alliance. And in order to understand in a better way the results, I will recover a little parts, important things about the learning forms and management practices. The learning forms are by doing, by interacting, by training. By doing related with action, interacting related with relationships between the partners, and training related with studying or some kind of training programs. And management practices can be formal or informal. Informal, you can find communication practices, governance practices, or governance structure of the alliance. In informal, you can find trust and reputation. The three cases that I reviewed were in the first part of the research, where Uniminuto, Universidad Minuto de Dios, CIREC, is related with anti-personal minds, Centro Integral de Rehabilitación de Colombia, and Engineers Without Borders Colombia. And in a first part, I developed a case study, and after that, I will present you the results from a survey that was developed with the results and findings of this part in a number higher of organizations. These case studies, the main results are the highest number of alliances, cross-sectoral alliances, was found in CIREC, because CIRECs have an extensive experience related with finding funds from different sources. And the most common learning form related with investment in this kind of learning form was in Universidad Minuto de Dios, related with doing some things related with the work of the alliance, training, and in the case of CIREC, by interacting, and in Engineers Without Borders Colombia, by training and by interacting. And the stronger managerial practices that were found in the relationship were strong communication, that is a formal way in Universidad Minuto de Dios, formal governance and partner reputation, one formal and one informal in CIREC, and one formal and one informal in Engineers Without Borders, formal communication and informal trust building. In the second part of the research, the significant values were related with one formal way of communication, of management of the alliance, that was number of communication relationships were related with learning by training, by negative relationship, and learning by interacting in a positive relationship. So we can conclude from these past results that Universidad Minuto de Dios, in relation with the kinds of work that they develop, depends a lot of their institutional history. In the case of CIREC, there are needs to combine formal and informal mechanisms in order to cope in a good way with the different sources of resources. And then in Engineers Without Borders also need to combine formal and informal mechanisms. They are there because due to the professional experience is together with the local knowledge in the projects that they are developing. Okay. The other thing is, as a result, as we learn from this research, is all the studied learning forms are supported by results. We found all the kinds of learning forms that we are studying. So learning is important for CSA's good management. The investment training as knowledge transfer isn't an effective way to develop formal mechanisms. So training investment isn't enough for effective management in cross-sectoral alliances. And interacting has a strong incidence in formal and informal results or mechanisms in the alliance. As a consequence, interacting investments are actions in good management of cross-sectoral alliances. This research has some limitations. The limitations are related in both phases are in cases study and survey, the size of the sample, and in consequence, it is difficult to generalize the results. But in this kind of studies, considering this kind of cross-sectoral alliances, in particular in social issues, there are not a lot of consistent theory. And in that case, it is usual to take case studies with a small samples in order to build some kind of concepts. And in relation with future research, could be interesting after this research try to find some organizational learning obstacles that could give us some light in relation with cross-sectoral alliances longevity. Yes, these are my presentation. I would like to hear some question of you have some comments in relationship with this.
In the interest of time, whoever is next, can you get set up? Who's third? Pablo? Questions, comments for Julia?
I have a question. You showed some results, some numerical results that have very small values. What are those results about?
Yeah, the results are related with. I just explained that there is a list of learning forms and a list of mechanisms in order to manage the alliance. And I select one of these learning forms in order to try to understand the relationship between this learning form and these specific mechanisms of management of the alliance and different learning forms. What I found is that there is a weak but a positive or negative relation in the investment that in order to improve one of these two learning forms that were considered significant.
But how do you get that numbers? Using some equation or?
It's just I bring the results of a survey.
Okay.
And after that I order the results and try to find that by means of impression the relationship.
Wait, did somebody?
It's recording.
It's recording still? Can you stop it and start it?